Hi, and welcome to Dalcraft Tarot. Thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate when you do that, plus all your subscriptions, likes, shares, blog follows, everything. I especially enjoy when you leave comments because I'm a better writer than I am a YouTuber, so if you just tell me what content you're interested in, I'll be more than happy to film it for you. One comment mentioned an interest in career readings. And that's a great opportunity to showcase what a real tarot reading with me would be like. The interesting thing about the comment was it kept it to the general topic of career rather than a specific question or leaving the reading entirely open to anything, which is a nice middle ground. I don't see that often. It's fun to get that topic driven rather than specific question driven kind of reading every now and then. But of course, tarot can handle both extremes. Entirely open, where you let energy and spirit entirely lead the way and are open to any topic or message or lesson that comes through. Or on the other end of things, we have the 1-card and 3-card readings that can be very, very specific. But today, let's look at a 3-card pathway reading on the general topic of career. All of my readings work exactly the same way. The first thing we would do is make introduction or some sort of energy connection in a live reading, such as a phone reading, or back in the good old days when I was still doing in-person work in an individual in-person or a party tarot session. We would just, start with all the social niceties, name, background, if you had a reading before, just the usual chit-chat. In a distance email or video reading, that connection is made when I read your order, see which layout you selected, and of course, when you give me your question, your topic, or your permission to do an open reading. Because once that interaction is granted, whether it's verbal, in person, or by writing at distance, that interaction, that information exchange is what makes the energy connection, that makes the reading valid. Given that, any reading operates basically the same way. We start off with that hello and that connection. We talk about your topic, which we already did, career. And then what we'll do is I'll shuffle the cards. Usually I try and bring you into that interaction as well by asking how many times you want me to shuffle, or sometimes I'll shuffle on my own and then divide the card and ask you which section you want to work from. And we can do this over the phone too. Do you want to work from part 1, part 2, or part 3? Or like we do on the You Choose interactive videos, left, center, or right. So today, since we're not reading for anyone in particular and no one's here to make that decision, we'll just go ahead and put the center pile on top. And we're going to do a 3-card pathway spread. This card symbolizes lessons from the past, things that you probably already know that you can bring forward to help you now. This card symbolizes the current energies, things that are trying to get your attention, or the high priority ideas and lessons for this present moment. This is the moving forward card. This isn't a prediction of what's going to happen in the future. None of these tarot readings do that. This is all about advice, ideas, things you can do for yourself to help steer your path in the direction you want things to go, not predict what's going to exactly happen along the way. So, to begin with, we have the 8 of Wands, then the Hanged Man, and then Temperance. Now, in any reading, be it in written form or in spoken form, live or at distance, the next thing I do is look at the overall pattern of cards. The most logical place to start is Major Arcana versus Minor Arcana. Part of the tarot deck is divided into what's called the Major Arcana, and that's the first 22 cards of the deck. They symbolize the larger energy dynamic, the big decision point type cards. The rest of the deck is organized just like our modern playing cards into 4 suits. Aces, kings, queens, numbered cards. The structure is identical, even though the 4 suits are different. We have wands, coins or pentacles, swords, and cups instead of the usual clubs. What are they called? Spades, coins, and hearts. But in any case, in this case, we have 2 major arcana cards and 1 minor arcana cards. In a spread this small, that is a little attention getting. In the deck as a whole, you have roughly 2 to 5 major arcana cards to minor arcana cards. So to have 2 majors in a layout this small, I would read that as showing a little bit more energy. That career is going to be a bigger topic. It's going to be top of the list, top of attention, top of mind issue for the person getting a reading like this. And again, I'm not doing this reading with anyone specific in mind. This is just a general see how it goes reading about career. Just to answer the topic that was brought up in the comments. If this applies to you or sounds familiar to you, great. Roll with it. If it feels right, you're welcome to adopt this reading as your own. If not, if you want a personal reading, my contact information is around. Just surf over to the link that's in the description below. But for now, excuse me. We've got 2 majors, 1 minor. And the first card is Lessons from the Past. That's one of the minor arcana cards. In a layout this small, you can't really infer anything from the suit of the minor arcana relative to the other cards. Wands cards generally are associated with the element of fire and have to do with your relationship with your inner world. For example, philosophy, spirituality, outlook, perception, mental processes. More on the emotional side of the mental internal realm than the logical side. The logical intellectual side belongs more to the suit of swords. 8 of Wands, specifically within that suit of Wands, has to do with things that are up in the air. I always like to associate this with an episode of Doctor Who where one character is waiting for another character to kind of catch on to what's going on. So she says, "Penny in the air." And then you can see the other character connect the dots and finally realize what was being said. And the first character goes, "Penny drops." So this card, the 8 of Wands, is like penny in the air. There's things up in the air, an arrow has been launched and is flight, and there's nothing more that can be done to direct it. Once you aim an arrow and let it go, you can't aim it any further. Not much can change its flight path. So you just kind of have to see where it lands and react to that new situation rather than trying to control the current situation. I associate this card very often with people who have had a job interview and they don't know yet whether they got the job. And perhaps there's no way to know that because decisions haven't been made yet. The whole process is still up in the air. So when you see the 8 of Wands, you just kind of have to hold on and enjoy the ride. And then be ready to react to whatever the outcome is when the arrow lands. So lessons from the past. What have you done before to be patient? Have you done everything you can for the situation? If you have, let it go, wait for the result. The current situation is the Hanged Man. Interestingly, these cards are very similar to another career reading I did recently, so if you know who you are and you're watching this, forgive me for the similarities. But the general message is very much the same. Hanged Man has to do with stagnation, waiting. Some threads and some interpretations also add in an element of fearless sacrifice or self-sacrifice with this card. But when it comes to career, And in this particular case, I'm getting more of the waiting, stagnation. You may be chomping at the bit to get the results of your interview. You may be chomping at the bit to get the heck out of this job. You may be ready to walk out the front doors singing several choruses of that old country western song about quitting a job. But now's not the time for activity. Be patient, wait, do what you can, but don't be surprised if things take a little longer than you hope or anticipated. Patience is a virtue. A little patience will go a long way at this present moment. Things can change. There's no hint or indication how long this particular phase or this particular energy might be here. Many times you'll get advice in a tarot reading that's for now, and you have to rely on your own instincts for when that energy shifts and the message changes. And you have the choice at that point of either acting on your own, consulting an oracle or guidance on your own, or you're certainly always welcome to come back for further reading or further guidance. Finally, we have the Temperance card. This is the moving forward card. It would probably apply at some point after the Hanged Man card energy starts to shift and change and move away. It can also very much blend in with the lesson as a whole, the whole path. The thing you're headed towards is temperance, which is balance. And an off-the-cuff interpretation of this card in relationship to the other cards would be that as you change and grow and improve your career, an important thing to keep in mind is work-life balance, keeping all parts of life balanced together. Don't focus so exclusively on work that family or recreation or friends or yourself falls to the wayside. Tend to your own needs, tend to stress management, tend to family, enjoy other things in life, and don't let your mind be consumed entirely by your career. And that's how a reading is generally structured. First, we'll do the introductions, make the energy connection. We'll draw the cards and lay them out. We'll look at them and a whole pattern and see if there's anything that pattern can tell us. And then we'll go through the layout card by card by card. No matter how large of a layout we're working with, be it a 3-card pathway like this one, 5-card Seasons of the Year, or a 5-card Modern Oracle layout, or a 7-card extended Modern Oracle layout. That's the largest layout that I do because in my experience, anything larger tends to get confusing and contradictory, especially as things unfold over time. So my preference is to opt for clarity in any given reading and then get another reading down the road after energies have shifted, after your arrows have landed, after the Hanged Man isn't hung up anymore, and when you're moving towards balance, or whatever the case may be. Also, at the end of any card reading, I stop and think for a minute. This is the part that doesn't film well for YouTube, because I do stop and listen to intuition, which makes for dead air, which isn't good video. But I'll think of recommendations that may come from crystal lore and tradition. Like, for example, this is a boilerplate sort of recommendation that if someone is going into an interview or going to make career changes, they want to boost their confidence. So self-confidence boosting, solar plexus chakra supporting stones like tiger eye, gold tone jewelry, and in this instance, it's more about the color psychology than the actual precious metal. Those sort of things will help boost confidence. Also coming to mind, my attention is drawn to the blue sky colors on these cards. That's another helpful thing in someone who's working on their career, perhaps doing interviews, is the color light blue. Wear light blue, carry or wear a stone like aquamarine or amazonite, because that works with the throat chakra and helps support effective communication. if that's the case, I probably should, like, cover myself with them when I'm filming these videos. But in any case, that's the general structure of the readings. The summary would go on to include other things if it is given by intuition, like aromatherapy, just any intuitive mental images. So, of course, since I'm not reading for a particular person, there's none of that coming through at this point. But if we did a one-to-one reading, there'd be quite a bit more information at this point that's purely intuitive. It might relate to the cards, it might relate to the topic, or it might not. In any case, that is how this works. And that's true of any topic, be it career, be it relationships, be it open, be it whatever you want to bring to the reading. And the same is true of the comments. Whatever question you want to ask in the comments below, feel free. Like I've said, if it's spam or inappropriate, it will be permanently exploded, set on fire, and launched right out of the comments. But I'm very interested in knowing what you're interested in. If I know the kind of content you want, I'm happy to create it. Any questions, feedback, leave them in the comments below. Of course, I hope you'll follow the link in the comments below over to the website so you can see the print-only information, hopefully follow the blog, as well as get all of the YouTube videos all in one convenient place. Well, thank you all very much. I hope you're having a good day, and may you all have a wonderful career. See you next time.